Hello, everybody. Reggie Dogman Johnson Dog Training. I'm Reggie Dogman Johnson. Uh, this video is all about when you select a dog and understanding how genetics influence dog behavior. All right. So this will give you, once you understand the genetics of the dog, you will understand the downside, the pros and cons, the pros and cons of this dog's genetic behavior. Not that it's written in stone, but it does have a great deal of effect of what and how your dog behaves. So before I get into that, you can cash at me or PayPal me. The description to that, the PayPal and Cash app will be in the description box. Send me some money to help grow my program. I'll appreciate it very much. So, for example, it's not that you can just go that basically you can just go get any dog you want to because they're available. But what happens is that that dog does not fit into your lifestyle. And the reason being is because it may be their genetics that just don't fit in, not something that you're necessarily doing or not doing, you know? So, for example, you see people who buy dogs simply because they're cute, but then know nothing about the dogs. So, all these problems start to come up. All of these problems start to come up: digging, excessive barking, um, biting, too much protectiveness. All of these things start to come up. So I know a lot of people who get a dog and basically just live with the dog and don't do much with the dog, and the dog turns out fine. We all know these people. But they would get another dog and do the same thing with it they did with the last dog, and the outcome is totally different. Why? Because of genetics. It's not that they don't love the dog or they did something to the dog, it's genetics. For example, you can get on YouTube and look at all of these young border collies, couple months old, 2, 3, 4 months old, attempting to herd sheep. You will see all of these young pointers, 2 months old, pointing, pointing with the little head and nose, they pointing. Nobody taught them how to do this. This is what they were bred to do. So their genetics is being expressed through their actions. You have dogs that are bred for barking. Not in a sense, but yes, they are bred for barking. So, for example, a lot of the hound dogs, a lot of the hound dogs are bred for barking. They bred to track with their nose, use the nose to go find something that they hunting in the woods, and then when they find it, it's treed, and then they're barking. And the hunter has to catch up to the sound of the bark so they can know where the dog is. So they can kill or capture whatever they was hunting. So those dogs are bred for that. And these dogs have an independent nature. Specifically those dogs, specifically those hound dogs. They have an independent nature and they're not really bred to be trained to work right up under somebody and follow a ton of direction, right? They're taught to track certain things by command, and then they track it, find it, and they start barking. That's their job. That's what they were bred to do. Then you got other dogs. So you never see these dogs in obedience competitions. Dogs that have been bred to follow a lot of commands typically are the easiest breeds of dogs to train, and their genetics prove uh prove that ability. You don't have to. You teach them a couple times and then they got it. It's nothing. I mean, I've worked with breeds where you have to teach them every itty bitty little thing, and it's a tough deal. And I'm a trainer, so you got to be patient with those dogs. But those are normally I go through that with hunting dogs. I don't really go through that with a lot of other breeds, but a lot of the hunting breeds I go through that with those dogs. But not really. Like labs have been bred every single which way. Goldens, they do pretty good. Labs do good. Shepherds, pit bulls. A lot of people don't believe how easy pit bulls are to train. Pit bulls have some genetic issues dealing with aggression, but they were bred to fight originally. Their original purpose was to be bred for fighting. So you always have to take that into consideration and how you raise them as well. But it's not 100% how you raise them. The genetics of the dog, their temperament, the temperament of the dog is what makes up the temperament of the dog. So what makes up the temperament of the dog is three different things: genetics, environment, and your influence on that dog. So the environment thing doesn't really make the temperament, but it shows you what the dog will do in particular environmental conditions. And his actions to those things will be his genetic response if you didn't already influence him. So you got to understand, like, why do some of these dogs have a heightened prey drive and want to chase the rabbit? It's not that a rabbit has done anything bad to them. They just want to chase the rabbit. It's in their genetics to go chase small animals. They're predatory. And you may encounter this in any type of predatory pet. You may not be able to trust fully around certain animals, especially if you haven't spent a whole lot of time socializing them to how you wanted them to be. Your influence, right? So your amount of influence is going to be different when it comes to socialization and training. Your amount of influence is going to be different for every different dog. It's very complex. So what you do with one dog, you may not be able to do with the next dog. Genetics influence a whole lot of this. You know, uh, some dogs are bred to pull, and some dogs are bred to be in your lap. So when you go out and go and buy a dog, before you buy the dog, before when you're thinking about purchasing a dog for yourself, go ahead and get online and just start studying different breeds and see what these different breeds were bred for. Because one main issue in the bully style breeds, pit bulls, American bulldogs, one of the downsides of those breeds is aggression. Then you get the guardian breeds, the Rottweilers, the Bull Mastiffs, stuff like that. They're protective, naturally protective. Uh, but one of their downsides is too much protective, too much aggression, even fearfulness in those defensive breeds. Fearfulness is a big issue too. So when you go out there, before you go out there, get on the internet and start researching to make sure you can find something that fits and suits closely to your lifestyle. And try to find the downside, because these people out here only want to sell you a dog. They only want to sell you a dog. They don't care about the downside. They're gonna tell you all the salesman stuff. Oh, he's great with blah blah blah, great with this, great with that, just to sell you a dog. So don't go by that. Mm-mm. Don't do that at all. Go try to find out all the bad stories, and then note the breed of dog that was doing the bad, that was making that bad story happen. And this is not written in stone. This is not written in stone, you know. But it's just to give you a full view of these particular animals that you may be interested in. You know, you want to see the full picture. A lion, think about this. Everybody would want a lion, a pet lion as a pet. If I only showed this lion cub, this lion, I'm sorry, this grown lion playing with lion cubs and chasing the ball and stuff like that. But I never showed him the lion killing a deer or fighting a hyena, or you know what I'm saying? So that salesman thing is really something else. That salesman thing is something else. They will show you all the sunshine. They won't show you the clouds. But just do your research. You got to do the research and see what the downsides is to these breeds. And then you will be better off, whether you're going to a rescue or if you're going to a breeder, you'll be much better prepared to pick out something that you want for you, for yourself, that's going to work out. Yep. So once again, I'm Reggie Dogman Johnson. This is Reggie Dogman Johnson Dog Training, Canine Conversations. Uh, Hit me up. Donate me some money. PayPal, uh, Cash App will be in the description box. And till next time, peace.